Bolt Bros here. Don't like talking about it, but there's some rumors going on there that Jim Harbaugh has been talking to the LA Chargers about being the next head coach. So let's get into it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Bolt Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Guys, I don't like talking about this by any means, but it is something that after a post that I put on our YouTube channel about this discussion from the Fan Checkdown podcast, stating that he has some insiders in the Jim Harbaugh camp saying that he's having some heavy discussions with the LA Chargers about becoming their next head coach. It's an interesting idea here. Jim Harbaugh, obviously, he interviewed with the Broncos just for their last job that and eventually ended up going to Sean Payton. Apparently, it was just a Zoom call. He did not want to come out to Denver to be able to do the interview. I think he was very bought in to stay with Michigan. But I think as things kind of changed a little bit to where he did get dinged recently for, taking a recruit out for dinner. I guess you can't wine and dine these players to be able to bring them into Michigan. He ended up taking a 3-game suspension, just taking that type of hit and saying, hey, I'll just take 3 games out. His coaching staff will currently take care of everything for the first 3 games of the season, and they're doing fine at this moment with Jim Harbaugh not being there. I think the thing is, though, with the NIL deals have really kind of thrown things in kind of a tailspin in the college football, and he might just kind of be over it. I mean, right now you got to think college football is kind of paying for athletes to be able to be there. There's a lot of guys getting paid multi-million-dollar deals that are 18, 19-year-old type guys in the NFL. So what's the difference from college football to basically just being the NFL where you got multi-millionaires in 20-year-old and 30-year-old base players now? So maybe he's just kind of ready to make that move and make that leap once again. Now, when Jim Harbaugh was in the NFL, he had some success. I mean, he was with the Niners for basically, 4 years, ended up having some pretty successful years. First year, 13-3. Second year, 11-4-1, and ended up getting to the Super Bowl, I believe, that year. 2013, 12-4 and 2-1 record in the playoffs, and then ended at 8-8. I mean, he's even had plenty of success within college football too. On top of that, big thing is, though, he's got a winning record in the NFL. He's got a very good playoff record at the same side. Has gotten to a Super Bowl as a head coach. It's kind of one of those ideas that it's like, man, it might be a good thing to be able to get a guy like this. Now, once again, the Spanos family is going to have to pay this guy probably well over $10 million. His contract does run through 2026 with Michigan. I'm sure that there's some sort of out clause in his contract allowing him to make that leap if he needs to. I don't know. We'll see what the Spanos is like to do. I mean, we have paid, obviously, Justin Herbert a pretty substantial amount of money, right? You want to be able to have a guy that you paid multi-millions of dollars to be able to have a successful career and find a way to be able to get a Super Bowl, right? So this might be an interesting move for the Chargers. It's something to keep an eye on, guys. Now, the thing about Brandon Staley, I'm a big fan of Brandon Staley. You know what? Last 2 games have been tough. There's been some really odd decisions in there, but it's not like we haven't lost by a lot, but at the same side, the track record starts to mount up. The drum starts to keep beating louder and louder and louder. And the fans out there, really, based upon our last live post-game show, people are pretty fed up right now. And it's tough because I really like the guy. I think he's done a good job. He's done a great job of coaching this team up. I think he's done a good job of drafting and making this team better and more talent for youth to be able to be injected in this team. As you can see, Thule in the last game did a phenomenal job as one of our second round picks, actually. But it starts to get to this theme at some point where we're like, wait a minute here. We're seeing this noticeable pattern. Last 4 games have not been pretty for us. End of last year, Bronco game 2 to end the season last year in week 18 to basically the last 2 games It's not looking good. And so bottom line, they got to have to say, hey, look, we got to get a guy that might be able to just really make this team get to the next level. And we'll see kind of where it goes with Brandon Staley. Why would they want to make a move? Obviously, we're seeing the patterns, but sometimes it's about making splash plays at the right time. This is kind of an odd idea, in my opinion. We got a new training facility, right? In El Segundo. It's going to be opening up next year, right? I think they spent $500 million to be able to build this facility. It's going to be an amazing facility. Sometimes you want to make splash plays in, new facilities. Maybe you want to make splash plays of new coaching just to hype it up just a little bit more. When the Chargers did move from San Diego to LA, what did they do? They ended up hiring a new head coach. They brought in Anthony Lynn. They kind of are trying to make different moves to be able to, maybe inject a little bit more media attention to them, maybe add some more value to the team, just start fresh. And we'll see what happens here, guys. I mean, when an ownership does spend a whole heck of a lot of money, which I'll say this is pretty uncharacteristic right now to see that the Spanoses, if you've been a fan for this team for decades like I have been, they're spending on players quite a bit. We got the highest paid defense in the league, $110 million right now. We got second highest paid quarterback, actually now third highest paid quarterback after Patrick Mahomes. Just got a little bit of a raise and a bump in his pay. You got to get some coaching that could really take you to the next level and make sure that money is being spent well and it's going to have great results. So either which way, guys, I just wanted to be able to do a short video on this. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers, is that something you're interested in? Or you want to ride with the Brandon Staley and see where it goes from there? Or is it Kellen Moore? That's one other topic too. So either which way, guys, love to be able to hear you guys' thoughts. I'd love to be able to hear what you guys are thinking. Put in some comments below. We love responding to them and hearing about which way we should go on this. So either which way, guys, appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not, but appreciate it, guys, and all the support. Once again, James from Bolt Bros. Let's go.